Namaskar and welcome to the course Urban Governance and Development Management. Myself Prof.U.K.Roy, Assistant Professor at the Department of Architecture and Planning, Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee. Before also we floated one course in Housing Policy and Planning, and some of you attended that. So I enjoyed that course very much, and after that I thought that this is another very important course, and there is a lot of enthusiasm and expectation from the participants. So I am going to float this course for you. So before I give you the course briefing, let me give you little bit of my details, those who are not acquainted with my profile. Basically I am an architect and urban planner. I did my architecture in 1997 from Jadavpur University, and from planning in School of Planning and Architecture in 2000. Then I worked in industry in the planning organization, and from 2012 I am working in IIT Roorkee as assistant professor. And this course, the Urban Governance and Development Management, this course basically is a 60 lecture course. It will be running for 12 weeks. So it is little bigger course, but definitely its coverage is much more. So I tell you the background and the who are going to be the participants of this course. Now, in the last few decades where I have worked in the urban sector, in the planning and governance sector, I have seen that this is some area where we need significant improvement in terms of the public service delivery in the urban sector. So the planning and governance, these two aspects go hand in hand, and unless we improve this aspect, the actual citizens, common people, they won't get the benefit from the planning and the governance sector. And I have seen that there is a lack of basic courses in urban governance and development management. There are courses, specialized courses in some of the aspect definitely, but as a comprehensive course like which will cover the basic concepts and some of the specialized knowledge and cases, those kind of courses are really less in terms of number. So that is why this course is designed. So the main participants of the course will be basically the PG level students, those who are doing master degree in planning or architecture or management or public administration or sociology. So they also can attend this course. At the same time, this course will benefit people who will be who are also preparing themselves for the faculty level work, or at the same time some of the UG students also who are preparing for their various examinations, so they also will get some benefit from this course. So this is about the course participants. In addition to this regular, I mean academic participants, those who are working at the urban sector, the municipalities, development authorities or corporations, they are also going to get the benefit. So they also can attend this course and get some benefit, because this course will be full of kind of examples and case studies, etc. So we have two objectives in this course. The first objective is to equip you with the comprehensive knowledge of the urban governance. Now, urban governance is a very vast subject. It is not possible to give each and everything, but those specially working in the urban sector in India and similar countries, they are going to get the maximum benefit from this particular course and particular objective. The second objective is basically to develop skills required for managing the urban development. Now, one is basically to get the adequate knowledge so that you can understand the intricacies and the criticality, and second is the develop skills or competencies which will actually help you to execute the development work. And these skills will be dealt in two levels. One is organization level and second is at the personal level. So we will be discussing both level, how the skills will benefit you at the organization level when you are working with a team or you are working under a team, and at the same time at the personal level as an individual, as a functionaries or a city manager, how some skills and competencies will give you benefit. So these objectives will cover basically 12 weeks of courses. So basically 12 weeks of courses will have 60 lectures, about 30 minutes of video lectures, and then under this objectives we have 3 sections. I have told you that urban governance will be the section 1, that is the objective 1 of this course, and 2 sections the development management and self development. These 2 sections will comprise objective 2, that is the developing the competencies at the organization level and the self level. And then I show you the course coverage week wise. So, basically in the first week we will discuss the basic concepts and legal provisions about the urban governance, the constitutional legal provisions, so that you understand what is the legal setup. Second, we will discuss some basic concepts of the urban governance, the concepts of people and people's interface, land and environment. In the third week we will discuss organization development, how an organization is developed, created and improved at the local level. And fourth, we are going to discuss the managing change. To bring a change in the municipal service delivery in the urban governance, what kind of knowledge and skill set is required, that is what we are going to discuss. So, these 4 weeks will consist of basically the urban governance module or section 1. In the section 2, we will start with the discussion on the urban and metropolitan planning. Second will be municipal finance and accounts. Third, the urban housing and disaster management. Fourth will be challenging urban issues like traffic management, environmental pollutions. So much urban issues are there, how to tackle those urban issues. Fifth will be dealing also with the management of the centrally sponsored schemes like Smart City, Amrut and Swachh Bharat mission, pre-MAY, all those missions. And in the last, project planning and execution, how to plan and formulate a project and how to execute a project. So, this 1 to 6 this weeks will be basically for the section 2 on basically section 2. This will be on development management. And at the last, we will also spare 2 weeks for your own competency development at the individual level. Out of that, first week will be on the leadership role of the city managers. What at the leadership role, what are the competencies required, particularly for the urban sector or the urban governance. Second, how you can develop continuously yourself as an individual, so that day by day you can improve and you can perform better. So, these are the broad course coverage. Now, this course coverage will be dealt basically through the video lectures. Apart from the video lectures, we will be having the course material, that is the reading material, some reference materials will be given. At the same time, there will be regular online interactions. Apart from the online interaction, some of the video live video sessions will be there, where you and myself and my teaching assistants will be interacting with you on real time basis. So, this will be the delivery mode. Now, apart from the lecture mode, within the presentation we will be including the case studies, examples, some of the exercise or self study which will benefit you, so that you can understand from the various angle, various perspective of the course. Now, evaluation will be in the 2 stage. In the first stage, every week we will be sharing some assignments. As usual, you know, who are acquainted with the NPTEL module. Now, every week these assignments will be basically objective type questions. This question could be subjective and objective type, and after every weeks of assignments, at the end with some gap after the end of the course, we will have a final examination. The weightage of the marks will be 25% for all the assignments and 75% will be for the final examination. In the final examination, definitely all the course content what I am going to discuss in every lecture, that will be basically the part of your examination. Apart from that, I will share some of the important reading materials, reference materials, some mandatory and some additional materials. So, those also will have some 20-30% of the course syllabus under the examination. So, that is going to be the delivery and the evaluation mode. Then third there are some expectation. Definitely I will first expectation that you share your expectation whenever we come to contact during the day to day online forum and the live video sessions. So that's what I am expecting from you, that the course should not be one way, because you know that it is a great opportunity for the students to attend the NPTEL course, but at the same time, since the personal interface which happens in a regular classes, which is very limited at the NPTEL, but this time definitely we are going to have some live video sessions. So whenever you get the opportunity in the live video sessions and also in the online forum, you share your expectation, your problems what you are facing, or whatever, if you need some additional information, additional references or clarification, that is my first expectation. Second, that you give us feedback not only during the course, also after the end of the course, and I expect that you enjoy the course, you involve the course, and also since it is a postgraduate level course, even PhD students also can attend this course as their coursework. So therefore you can contribute also. If you are working in a urban sector or the urban governance, you have some better case, better example, maybe suitably you add as additional material, so that all of us remaining students and remaining participants and even myself, my team will be benefited out of that. So it is not a one way delivery of this course, I expect a two way delivery and a joint learning through this course. So with after having said that, I will definitely going to start the first lecture. So with this I welcome once again to this course Urban Governance and Development Management, which is a 12 weeks course for the working professionals and the people who are studying at the PG level, PhD level in the planning, management, architecture, social studies, geography, etc. So under this course, the first lecture will be in the basic concepts in the urbanization. The first two lectures are going to be the basic concepts on the urbanization and the urban governance. So in this lecture we are going to cover the following. So we are going to cover the definitions, some basic data I will be sharing with you, so that you get some of the data could be known to you, but definitely I will share so that you get some feel. Then some census definitions of the basic terms like city, town, outgrowth, etc. Then what are the major urban issues and how we categorize the cities, metro cities, and also there is a concept of functional categories, that also I am going to discuss. So first is the definition. Now as per the census of India, this says that all places with a municipality, corporation, cantonment, board or notified town area committee will be urban. Apart from this, all other places which satisfied the following criteria, like 5,000 population, 75% of the male main working population in the non-agricultural pursuits, and a population density of 400 persons per square kilometer. Now this criteria is given by the census of India. So in the serial number 1, this is all the municipalities, corporation, development authorities and town area committee, these will be termed as the urban. In the under the second category, apart from that, all other smaller centers which is having population of 5,000, 75% of the working population in the non-agricultural sector, that is either industry or manufacturing or business, or can be combinedly 75% or more, and a density of the population at least 400 per square kilometer. So these three criteria basically is a generic criteria for the eligibility of the urban. So therefore you can understand the number one what I told, that these urban areas are under municipalities, corporation, cantonment board or notified area. On the other hand, the category 2, these are not within the municipality. So therefore do not be confused that when we say urban governance, it is also for the municipal or the corporation level governance, and also the smaller centers which is non-municipal, that is also referred here. Second, So these are basically, as I told, the number one is called as a statutory towns, and second one is called as a census town, which is non-statutory, that means not within the municipal limit. Now census definition says that city which is a town population of 1 lakh or more. So basically it gives the benchmark of this nomenclature based on purely on the population. So all the cities are having 1 lakh or more population, below 1 lakh they are calling as a town. So below 1 lakh, that will be fully the towns. Urban agglomerations are basically the continuous urban spread consisting of statutory towns and adjoining outgrowths. So you might have seen that several cities and urban areas sometimes are situated in such a way, so that they are contiguous in development, like this as I am drawing. So city 1, city 2 or city 3, like that, or town. So this kind of development where you find that several towns and cities are situated close to each other, but they are distinct, those kind of situations are called urban agglomeration as per the census of India. Second is that outgrowth. Now sometimes what happens, city is a continuing phenomenon, it never stops growth. So sometimes it's grow even beyond its administrative boundary. If the city is confined within municipal boundary or corporation boundary or notified area boundary, notified areas are basically the notified under the statute or the law, which is going to be a municipality after some time. So sometimes the physical growth, that means the construction of the infrastructure and buildings, go beyond the administrative boundary. So the growth beyond the administrative boundary is basically called the outgrowth. So if this is the city, so if the city grow beyond the administrative boundary, so this kind of part will be called as outgrowth. Next is a region. Now when we see that several urban agglomerations are there and several outgrowths are there, smaller urban and rural centers are there, and it is making a very large region to represent a very large metropolitan or the mega cities, for example Delhi, for example Mumbai, Calcutta, Chennai, Bangalore. So this kind of situations where we will see definitely the urban agglomerations, the phenomenon of the municipal and non-municipal urban, statutory and non-statutory urban areas, and also some rural areas which make a large region, homogeneous region or heterogeneous region, and it gives a very large settlement, large amount of settlements in the population concentration. So this kind of areas are called region. So it can be a continuous geographical area which has a fair degree of uniformity in administration, economic linkage and natural environment. So both kind of fairly some uniformity could be there in terms of administration, economic linkage or natural environment. Then I tell you some of the examples definitions like peri-urban. So the term peri-urban starts with the peri or the peripheral. So the urban areas which is in the planning area, but which is outside the limit of the municipal corporation. For example, if this is my municipal corporation or the current city, and some of the areas, urban areas are looking like that, situated like that. So this is a city. So this urban area is called peri-urban area, but this could be a planning boundary. So always the planning boundary is bigger than the administrative municipal boundary. Now the difference of the peri-urban and the outgrowth is that outgrowth is basically situated in contiguity of the city beyond the administrative boundary. Peri-urban, so this is the basically outgrowth, but peri-urban areas are always there beyond the municipal boundary, but not in contiguity. That is the difference between the outgrowth and the peri-urban area. Then the suburban area, the part of an urban area which is usually residential community, but which is within the commuting distance from the center of the town and the city. So if this is a city and there could be some of the areas which is, so another town, but it is having a better connectivity with the mother city. So, this kind of area will be called as a suburban area. So, this suburban area you have seen in the bigger cities like Mumbai, Calcutta, that suburban towns are situated not very far, but even not very close. So, within 1 hour to 2 hour commuting by the first rail network, the people can reach to the mother city and they can go back to their home. So, this kind of suburban areas, which is basically residential area, which creates a affordable area for the staying and the residential purpose. So, difference between the suburban area and peri-urban areas are, peri-urban areas are close to the mother city and within the planning boundary, and the suburban areas are not so close, but it is connected with the mother city, and it creates a basically residential facility little away from the city, but accessible. Then there is another term like Nagar Panchayat. Nagar Panchayat is basically you know the term Panchayat. Panchayat is basically the local administration of the village as per the terminology concerned in the India. Nagar Panchayat is the counterpart of the urban sector. The smaller urban areas, which is termed as the rural urban government, but which is not eligible to become a municipality or the corporation. So, Nagar Panchayat, and sometimes it is called, as I told, notified area council and committee. So, Nagar Panchayat and the notified area councils and committee are the first stage to become a larger city. So, this is a first level of statutory towns. So, statutory towns are towns which is identified and identified as per some statute. Usually these statutes are state government level statute. We will come with all the definitions and details in the successive lectures, but please take this term like we will be using this term various times like statutory town. So, Nagar Panchayat, municipality, municipal corporations, all these are statutory town. Nagar Panchayat and notified area committees are the first level of the statutory towns, right. Okay. So, then let us see the some graphical representation how it looks like. So, this is a typical area. So, here we have shown the planning boundary, the green border is the planning boundary, then this is the municipal boundary, the blue one municipal boundary limit and municipal boundary, and this is the city extent, main city area you can see in the grey, and you can find that beyond the municipal limit, beyond the municipal limit, that is the blue one, there are some areas which is we are calling as outgrowth. So, these are basically outgrowth. There are few areas like suburban areas which is beyond the municipal limit, some of the low densities areas are suburban areas. Peri-urban areas could be there outside the city, but not as outgrowth. There are some pockets of peri-urban areas. Suburban areas could be also little away from the area, this could be also suburban area, and definitely it will be connected with the city. So, these are the connection. So, every city will show a dedicated connection with surrounding suburban area and the other cities, right. So, this is a graphical representation of the city where you can find that the red one, this is the actual city extent, whereas this one is the core city area which is densely developed, but definitely you will find that the actual built extent will not follow a very regular pattern of a city. If you see the satellite imagery through Google map or whatever, you can find this phenomenon, and then if you see or compare the municipal boundary and the planning boundary and the actual city growth, you will understand the phenomenon of the outgrowth phenomenon of the peri-urban areas and the suburban areas. Okay. So, now we come to the term urbanization. So, urbanization is basically the transformation from rural to urban. Since we have defined urban just little before, so here our urban is defined by population, as I told, by population, by non-agricultural participation. For India, it is considered as 75% and also density. Density is nothing but the population living in a unit area. Usually it is considered at the city level for the as a square kilometer. So, population, the participation in the non agricultural sector and density, these three are basically very important and generic criteria to be urban. Remaining all becomes the rural. So, when a population settlement transforms from rural to urban gradually, the process is called urbanization, right. So, let us have a look at how the urbanized situations are there in the world. So, these are the urbanization level. You can see that in the legend I have shown 80% and over, 60 to 80%, 40 to 60%. So, mostly the European countries and some of the Latin American countries, they are having maximum urbanization, where India is having in between like 20 to 40%, but there are a large concentration of the big cities like mega cities and the large cities. I will talk about the definition little later. So, this kind of cities are situated in the European countries, also Latin American and the Indian and Chinese settlements, right. So, this is the overall distribution of the urban population across all the countries in the globe. Then in India, let us see how the population is distributed. So, this is in the left side in this map, you can see that how the population is distributed. So, this one is the less amount of population which is distributed, and the red one is the more concentration of the population. You can see that Gangetic belt and the major river belts are having major population concentration like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Maharashtra, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Rajasthan, Gujarat, and northeastern and the Jammu Kashmir, all these are having less amount of population. If you see the concentration of the metropolitan cities, you will find that the metropolitan cities are situated in this fashion mostly. So, in the Gangetic belt in the central region, and another is the far south region except one or two. So, these are the concentration of the metropolitan cities in India. So, metropolitan cities are basically 10 lakhs population or more. So, cities which are touching population 10 lakh, which is called metropolitan cities. This is a picture taken from the satellite imagery. It is a night picture, like in this picture you will find that during night what are the urban population. The more the urban population, bigger the cities, more the light emission will be there. So, in this population here you can find out the urban settlement. So, this is one urban settlement area, Gangetic belt, and also far south also you will find the urban settlement. So, but yes, by and large the urbanization level is not very large like the other European countries. Indian urbanization is still now it is in 30s. So, now let us see the urbanization trend in India. So, during 2010 and 11 we had urbanization of about 31% and 31%, that means roughly it is 1/3. That means if in India 3% are there, 1% is living in urban area, 2% are living in the rural area. That is very simplistic way to remember this. And on the other hand, if we distribute the total population out of 121 crore, you can see that 83 crores are there in the rural areas, whereas in the urban area it is about 40 crores. And the sex ratios are comparable in urban areas. In 2001 it was 933, in 2011 it is 940. So, sex ratio is basically number of women member for 1000 male member. Literacy rate has been increased from about 65% to 74%. So, very soon we can hope that the literacy rate could touch about 90% or so. Now, out of this 31% of the urban area, let us see the distribution of the urban area in terms of the towns and the statutory towns. Now, the total number of towns in 2011 was about 8,000. Okay. So, from 2001 it is a increase of about about 60%. So, 5,000 to 8,000 it is about increase of 60% increase. But the phenomenon, I mean the very important part is that the statutory town increase of statutory town is not much, but number of census town which is increased from about 1362 to 3894, that means you can see more than 200% is the increase. Okay. So, from this slide you can see that the urban population is increasing much, but in a very fast growth of the census towns which is not statutory, non-statutory census towns, those are growing in a very fast rate. That means you can understand from this figure that small towns or small areas which is under the village areas or the rural settlement or the panchayats, those are growing fast because people are living there, people are going there. On the other hand, the number of the urban settlements are not growing that in that speed, but definitely number of large cities are increasing, that I am going to show. So, you can see in this picture that number of million cities which is 10 lakh and more. I have told that million cities and metro cities are basically 10 lakh and more. Its number is basically 53 in as per 2011 census, and next census it will definitely reach around 80s or so, and remaining class 1 and below which is basically 1 lakh to 10 lakh, it is 400 plus, and these are the town which is having. So, remaining towns are about 7,000. So, this distribution, if I convert this distribution in the as per the population, you will find that this 53 million cities accommodates about 43%, more than 400 class 1 cities accommodates about 27%, and the smaller towns which is class 2 to class 6 towns, these classes are classified in the census of India based on the population. You can see 50,000 to 1 lakh, 20 to 50, 10 to 20, 5,000 to 10,000 and less than 5,000. These smaller towns also takes 30% population. Now, this is significant in terms of. Now, I would like to request all of you that please have a look of this percentage and try to understand what is the implications. So, only 53 numbers of million cities are consisting more than 40% of the urban population. So, it shows that the concentration in the larger cities, in the capital cities, in the metro cities are much more than the other cities, that is between 1 lakh to 10 lakhs. And another phenomenon is that in the smaller towns which is having 5,000, 10,000 or 20,000, 50,000 population, they are also having 30% of the population. So, soon they are going to be cities like more than 1 lakh. So, this also needs intervention and better governance. Now, this classification, like I forgot to tell you that apart from the metro cities, there are mega cities which is basically 1 crore and more. So, more than 1 crore population we term it is mega city. So, mega cities and metro cities together consist 53 numbers and 42.6%. Now, this is the classifications we do in the census of India based on the population, but always this population wise classification may not work. Like there are some other classifications I would definitely like to share with you. First is that some of the functional categories could be there based on the cultivation. There could be some cities where significant amount of cultivations are there. So, those could be based on cultivation, agricultural labor based cities or the town areas, forestry based cities and the urban areas, mining and quarrying based cities. There are cities like where you have seen the industrial cities, Bhilai, Durgapur, which are basically supposed to I mean they are created to for mining and quarrying and setting the large scale manufacturing. The household industry based cities could be there, manufacturing and other household industry, construction based cities could be there, trade and commerce, transportation, storage and communication, and service based category. So, apart from the statutory and the non-statutory urban classification which I discussed earlier, we can also classify based on the functional categories. Now, the objective of classifying the cities or the urban areas as per the functional categories is to understand their functional significance, what kind of function the city primarily or predominantly provides for the people, so that we can make the plan and we can make a better governance. That is the purpose of making the functional category. So, based on the functional categories, manufacturing, trade and transport, services, these are some of the categories we have done, or in India several committees, they time to time framed by the government of India, then they commented that this could be the functional categories and could be considered during planning and governance improvement. So, having said that, I would like to say that what are in India there are major urban challenges for which we have been working continuously at the every level of the governance, at the academia, at the research level, at the local level. So, since you are going to attend this course either for your academic purpose or professional purpose, so you should know what are the major critical challenges, so that you are equipped with those challenges and you can develop your knowledge and skill through this course and otherwise also. So, first challenge is basically the scarcity of the land. This 31 or 32% 2011 urban population, now it should be about 35%. Now 35% of the total population lives only in the land which is in between 2 to 3% in India. So, you can understand the land is the most scarce material, more scarce resources in the cities, which we cannot create from the sea or water, everything, whatever land we have for the agriculture, for the natural resources, we have to contain, we have to accommodate the future population within this land without sacrificing the future food production and the agriculture. Therefore, the scarcity of the land is the first major urban critical challenges which we are going to face and address. Second is the increasing population. It is very difficult to stop increasing population. Government of India time to time they have taken various interventions to at least control the increase of the population, and they have been successful in doing so partially or fully. So, our challenge, those who are working at the urban sector, our challenge is how to accommodate those increasing population in a better way. That is the challenge. Second is the inadequate infrastructure. So, the moment the land is scarce, population is more, definitely there will be shortage of the infrastructure like basic road, power supply, water supply, the sewerage sanitation facility. So, how we can compensate or make adequate infrastructure with the increasing population, that is the another challenge. And infrastructure is always a finance involving activity. So, it needs capital investment, large amount of money investment, that is why it is a large challenge. Fourth is the employment demand. The more the population increase, more there will be demand for the new employments, new job generation. So, for the urban planners, for decision makers, for the urban managers, city managers, it is a very important challenge that how you create large amount of jobs in your city, in your government area. So, that is the major challenge. The next is the migration, slums and squatter. You know that people migrate, and in our country it is a common phenomenon. People migrate from village to urban area to small cities to metro cities, metro to mega cities, and even there are migrations from this country to another country. Now, migration is a natural phenomenon, and because of the migration there are formation of the slums and the squatters, because poor people who migrate from one area to another area and do not find affordable house, they finally end up in living in the shanty areas or the low environment, low quality areas, those are called as slums and squatter. So, how we can understand in a better way the nature of migration and plan for slums and squatters and the migrating people, that is another problem and challenge for the cities. Next is the degradation of the social and natural environment. Whenever there is a mismatch between the demand and supply, the demand in terms of the increasing population and supply in terms of the infrastructure, job, the basic services, there will be degradation of the social and the natural environment. You might have seen that people are living in the river bank, people are living in the forest, people are living in the within, and it is creating the flood, it is creating the several man-made disasters. So, those kind of situation, the pollutions are created due to that. So, those kind of conditions are undesired, we do not want those kind of situations. We have some amount of good areas in, I mean, lesser polluted areas or better environment in the urban areas also, but by and large there are depletion of the natural environment, depletion of the natural resources. That is the major challenge we are going to address. And there are unauthorized development. Whenever people do not get a service land within affordable range, they just squat in the public land or the environment or the river land, and they encroach and they make unauthorized development, sometimes intentionally, sometimes not intentionally, but our objective is to bring them in the planning mechanism, control them in a better way, so that they also get a affordable house, affordable shelter, some basic infrastructure. At the same time, city can come out, city can eliminate, can mitigate the situations of the unauthorized development and the degradation of the social and the natural environment. So, these are the urban challenges we are going to address in through various lectures and the case studies and examples through this course. So, having said that, let me summarize in small words. So, in India, urbanization is basically unplanned and unorganized, and as a result of that, basically we have enormous urban challenges, and to deal that urban challenges we need the effective urban planning and governance. So, planning and governance will go hand in hand. So, how this can satisfy or this can address the enormous urban challenges, so that from an organized unplanned situation it can bring the planned and organized situation. That is what we are going to see in this course. So, let us summarize. So, we have basically we have initially described the definitions of the statutory towns and the census towns. We told that statutory towns are identified as per the state statutes like the Municipal Act. We will come to the later lectures about the details of those statutes and this municipal acts, but please know the term as a difference. And census towns are towns which are eligible to be urban area, but not a statutory towns like municipality or municipal corporations or nagar panchayats. And then we have told you that transformation from the rural areas to urban areas are called as urbanization, and classifications of the town in India as per the census is based on population, like we have told you that class 1 to class 6 the towns, then there are cities from 1 lakh to 10 lakh, then 10 lakh to below 1 crore is the million and the metro cities, and 1 crore plus is the mega cities. And there are other approaches like functional categories are also there. We have shown that there could be functional categories like manufacturing town, the education town, there could be like forestry based town or residential town. So, those functional categories also could be there. Then urbanization is India, that is the last very major statement we have made, that urbanization in India mostly unplanned and organized. We are doing the planning and the organization in the urban areas for last few decades, but definitely still now lot of, I mean, a very long way we have to work. So, therefore, it is resulting country facing major urban challenges, and we need basically better urban governance, better urban governments in the cities, and better planning intervention to tackle and to address this situation. So, having said that, I am going to conclude today's lecture. The next lecture we will discuss about the some basic concepts about the urban governance, some preliminary concepts, so that all of us we can start the course from the a common benchmark. So, with this I would like to thank you once again and welcome once again for this course, urban governance and urban and development management. I hope that you will enjoy the whole course. Thank you very much.